Atmosphere is an essential part of world building. It's the binding force between the player and the experience. It drives immersion and creates an exploratory space within medium. Atmosphere is the world around you, the people who inhabit it. It's the animals, the plants, the sounds, and the music. Welcome to High Scored, a series where we analyze the music of video games, and this episode is a tribute to the piano. The piano is a medium. It's the pencil that draws a picture, it's the stone that forms a sculpture, it's the color that paints a world. It's one of the most versatile instruments, yet it's sometimes criminally underused in modern music. It can create music that's soft, or loud, simple, or complex. Actually, the piano was originally called the pianoforte, named after piano and forte. Creative, I know. They're the Latin musical terms for soft and loud respectively, since the pressure used on the keys can produce different dynamics. It can be used as a lead, a backup, or even just ambience. It truly covers the full range. Its technicality and complexity allows for it to be used for any wide variety of compositions and genres, whether it's rock and roll, soul, funk, jazz, pop, punk, rap, EDM, pretty much anything you can think of. And this versatility of the instrument easily translates over to video games.
Okay, here we go.
With such a wide array of genres, a flexible instrument can be invaluable in composing scores, and the people who make video game music are well aware. When looking at piano and video game music, it's less about finding pieces that utilize it, and more about realizing that almost all pieces do utilize it, or at least are greatly influenced by it, like pieces that rely heavily on synth, which is primarily played on a keyboard, just like a piano. You see where I'm going here? And that really goes for all music, whether it's piano or synth or organ, it's all around you. Whether you know it or not, piano kinda rules the world, so let's see how that influences video game music. Ever since the start of the industry, the piano has been a staple instrument in many video game scores. Its simplistic application allowed for it to be implemented into early soundtracks with less technology involved, and as capabilities of soundtracks and video games progressed, composers still kept the piano within the repertoire. Nowadays, piano is used, well, everywhere. Like I said before, it's pretty commonly used when composing. It's just that there's so many different ways that composers make use of it. Piano is often used to one of its greatest advantages by having it embody the theme of a certain story element. In Mother 3, Gymnopedie, that's a fancy word, was used as an image of a character's unfolding of knowledge. It gives a mood of things becoming clear, as if turning to new pages in a book and uncovering knowledge that explains what was once unknown. Other games use piano to capitalize on feelings of individualism. This greatly plays to the piano's strength as a solo instrument. The fact that the piano is being played all by itself already speaks volumes to representing individualism in a piece. But looking deeper into the tone of the music can reveal more about a character. Maybe they're grief-stricken. Perhaps they're in despair. Maybe they like being an individual. In many cases, the piano takes on more of an atmospheric role. This sees it being used as more of a sound effect rather than a musical instrument. Atmospheric piano adds a great touch to many games, whether it be to set a laid-back tone, add life to an environment, or even just keep the player more engaged. Dead air in video games can be detrimental to player experience. An area that's lacking in engaging sound can completely break a player's immersion before they even realize what's wrong with the scene. It's one of those things where you don't really realize it until it's done incorrectly. Keeping a cohesive sound environment means the experience is more seamless and thus more immersive. If you want a great example of atmospheric piano, look no further than The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This game is a masterclass in immersive piano. I want you to just take a second and listen to how beautifully piano works into this piece. Striking. And that's just the beginning. It also features a dynamic soundtrack that adds just a sprinkle of color into a vast open world with the use of very sparse and light piano tracks. As you explore the environment, you're treated with quick musical accents when you encounter events like a new environment, wildlife, or at the end of a storm. This is layered with more general use of piano, chiming in now and again to remind you of its presence, to keep the world light, just to paint a little bit of color into the environment. As previously mentioned, you can look to Mother 3 for some awesome examples of solo piano. This game's themes of the individual as Lucas suffers loss and must overcome his isolation is perfectly told with emotional piano pieces, but piano can also play an essential role in ensembles. Just as the piano can shine on its own, it can really make a great impact in a group. This is where most piano is integrated into music. You've probably never noticed that some of your favorite songs use piano as a backup or sometimes even a lead. This can probably be attributed not only to the fact that piano is such an important instrument in composing, but it's also one instrument that a lot of people learn how to play. Chances are you can probably find access to a piano, or maybe you could just pick up a cheap used keyboard. Many children are given piano lessons as an introduction to music. It's an easy instrument to pick up and mess around with, and it's reasonably attainable that you can become a good player. This is in contrast to something like the violin, which is an expensive instrument to buy, and it takes years and years of dedicated practice and formal teaching to even scratch the surface of proficiency. But that doesn't discount the piano as an easy instrument. Like any other instrument, there's a very high skill ceiling. Those that know the piano pretty well can play great, but those that dedicate their life to it can play it amazingly. But its accessibility is probably its greatest asset towards its ubiquity. The fact that the piano is everywhere might make it seem kinda obvious why it's so highly regarded, but drowning the market doesn't automatically make a medium good. It might be more the fact that most piano players who put forth the effort to create music are really good at piano. Consider 1,000 Miles. Yes, that one. Of course, Paradigm of Humanity, Terry Crews gave an amazing performance in White Chicks that launched this song into meme territory.
And I need you. And I miss you.
But chances are it wouldn't still be around if it wasn't simply a good song. Maybe the same could go for other songs that are well known because of memes. So the possibilities are really endless with piano. It's an instrument that not only shapes video game composing, but all composing. It's taken the music industry from its roots to its now essential place in society. Those 88 keys, those 7 octaves, that one instrument that creates the music we love. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had so much fun making it. I hope you had at least a little bit as much fun watching it. I put a lot of work into it, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. If you have any feedback at all, feel free to leave a comment. If you liked the video, leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe to this channel. I can't wait to put out more videos just like this one, or who knows, maybe in the future some Let's Plays, Twitch streams, we'll see. But for now, thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.